Hello everyone, today is October 8th, Thursday. So market has closed. Let's take a look at the market. I haven't uploaded a new video for a while because there hasn't been much of a new development since my last video about, President Trump getting the COVID. And I've been talking about that particular news is actually not bearish to the market just by looking at historical market reaction to the president, to the incidents that happened on presidents in the past. And I've been talking about that the market is going to bounce back and the market is going to hit all-time high in November. And I think we are on its way. We're in the process of that right now. And you can see that market has bounced back from the COVID, the Trump getting the COVID on that day, and the market has bounced back very nicely. You can see on the 8-hour time frame, we have green bars every single hour, every 8 hours, right? Even on the 4-hour, 1-hour time frame, we're talking about this market is just really, really strong. We actually made a new interim high, close to the interim high here, in this bounce since late September. You can see that the market right now, the logarithmic chart, I expect the market to continue bounce to a new all-time high, but then after that we could probably gonna see another mild correction downwards. I think we're going to bounce back and forth at this particular level above this long-term trend lines here, because we have successfully break above the long-term trend line, and this is actually completely new behavior of this market. So I expect this to happen, basically, that we bounce up and down, up and down. Eventually we're going to break this particular barriers. We're going to form this particular barrier. We're going to form this barrier here, then eventually we're going to break to the upside, even on that. I think once we break that, it's going to be the last run-up of this long-term bull market here. Usually this kind of long-term bull market is going to result in a very ferocious ending, which is a very vertical move in the entire index. I don't know how it's going to happen this time. I expect the end of this bull market is going to be on the similar scale as the dot-com bull. Okay, so expect a rapid price movement. Expect a lot of people getting rich from the market if you're in the market. So definitely stay in this market, and I think you will be rewarded. Other than that, I don't have much of anything else in terms of the stocks. Let's take a look at Tesla. Tesla has been just going flat since August 31st, so it's not crashing. I think Tesla right now is just consolidating through time. Has been just going flat, been consolidating through time, so I'm not too worried about it right now. Let's take a look at some of the really stronger stocks that we've seen since late September. There's one thing about there's a sector rotation in the market. There is a lot of apparel company or luxury brands that's selling, luxury goods like high-end jackets, high-end bags, handbags, right? These brands they got hit a lot, hit the most during the pandemic, especially during March. Their stock got completely obliterated, but these ones are actually outperforming the market and outperforming everything else right now. For example, one the stock I've been following is Tapestry. So Tapestry has gone up quite a lot since September-ish, early September. One thing, the other stock I've been following a lot is Canada Goose. Canada Goose is one of my favorite. Canada Goose has been extremely strong since late August. It's almost a 70% move from the late August level. So there has been a sector rotation, the money flowing from some of the high-tech companies, just literally going flat, into some of the undervalued companies that's in other sectors, right? And the Dow Jones is actually outperforming not outperforming, performed pretty well since this bottom of this correction, and yeah, and it is going up. I think Dow Jones eventually going to make all-time high as well. Okay, and let's take a look at the cryptocurrency right now. Cryptocurrency, not much going on except there's a new development in Ethereum that from a price action perspective, I want to really point out that, you know, we had a, let me just get rid of the log chart here. So we had a kind of a 3 drive to the top kind of pattern here. We tried it once, consolidate, tried a second time, consolidate. The third time was really vertical, and we collapsed. And usually this kind of collapse is very severe, right? Because the third time, you know, we ran out of buyers literally at this point, and the prices tumbled by, I think this was a 32% move or 35% move, 36% move. It's a huge move. And historically speaking, after this move, and if there are two scenarios. One is we continue to consolidate, and we make another move downward, and that is the end of the bull market for this particular asset. This has happened in other asset classes historically speaking. It could happen to Ethereum as well, but usually what happened was this particular move, it shouldn't have. One indication of that Ethereum might not be following this path is because this correction is followed by a pretty strong rebound. Usually what happens is in this kind of move is that this first correction is going to correct all the way down to a much lower level and followed by a rebound and eventually, you know, a further collapse. But it seems that the market was able to handle all the sellers during the avalanche, and there are actually a lot of potential buyers that's willing to pick up Ethereum at this particular point. And it seems that we had a double bottom here, and we are probably going to retest this level again. I don't know if we do, but one thing I want to point out is that we have this trend line here that's going downward. And this is kind of interesting. I think this particular trend line is actually very significant. Is that the market is actually trying to, we tested once, you know, we tested the second time, it failed, it came back, we tested the third time, we tested the fourth time, we tested the fifth time, sixth time right now, today, right? You can see the market bounced, the Ethereum bounced pretty fast since yesterday, and we're testing this trend line 6th time, and we're probably going to test the 7th time, 8th time, you know, 9th time. Eventually the price is going to be squeezed, right, like this wedge, and eventually it's going to accumulate so much energy, there's so much buyers and sellers, like eventually it's going to reach an equilibrium, and the price is going to shoot up right after, like that, like a rocket. And that could happen here. That could happen here based on this price action. It's just a possibility I want to lay out here. And if we are able to do that, I think right now, if the price continue to squeeze in a low volatility manner, you can see there's a contraction of volatility, right? Volatility is contracting. Here, right? The range of price is getting smaller and smaller and smaller. That means it's just like a spring. The market is just like a spring. The price action is like a spring. The spring is getting smaller and smaller and tighter and tighter. Eventually it's going to bounce. Eventually it's going to expand with a lot of force, because right now we're accumulating energy at this point. That's my opinion. Whether it's going to happen or not, we don't know, right? We don't know. But for me, I'm a long-term Ethereum holder. I'm holding this thing. I'm not selling anything at the moment. I would say it's a bad time to sell. Okay, so that's all I want to talk about today, and see you next time.